Hey, everybody, welcome to a special episode of the Board Boys Podcast, Season 11, Episode Bonus, the Beau Bonus Show. This is your board boy, Rob, and I'm here with.
Just normal Beau.
You're not board boy, Beau?
There is no boy word. I'm not a part of the podcast.
Oh, okay. All right, this special bonus episode is brought to you by Blue Orange Games. We were sent a few of the games by Blue Orange, and we thought we'd give you a rundown of all of the games that we played and what we thought about them, right?
Mhm.
We really like Blue Orange Games. They are good for families and kids. It's kind of, to me, a nice step up from the Haba games, which we played a lot when Beau was younger. And Beau, you are now how old?
8.
He's 8 years old. So we have ordered these in order of the Beau scale. Okay?
Yes.
So we have 5 games to talk about today in this short bonus episode. And we've ordered them. The one he liked the most will be at the end, and the one that he liked the least will be at the beginning. So, Beau, why don't you tell them what the first game we're going to be talking about is today?
It's Pop the Box. This isn't really a board game, but we decided to do it anyway.
That's true.
It's not really on the Board Game Geek
I
stuff.
couldn't find it on Board
Yeah.
Game Geek. It's called Pop the Box.
And
It's more of an activity.
you
I think.
you roll these 2 dice, and then you get to pop these little things on there that are kind of like a pop-it, but they're numbered, and my dad will tell you more.
Yep. So in Pop the Box, it is from Blue Orange Games. It says Shut the Box game with a popping twist. My guess is Shut the Box might be a different game. Anyway, it's for 7 and up, 1 to 2 players. And I don't think it even has a design. Oh, maybe Thierry Donoval is the designer here. Anyway, in Pop the Box, the game takes about 10 minutes. I personally enjoy it. We took it to like restaurants and things, and it's nice to play one-on-one. It's really small. It's cute. It's basically a plastic pop-it with 2 tracks that go 1 to 9. On your turn, you roll 2 dice, and then you add up the 2 numbers, and you pop any numbers on your side of the board that equal that. So if I rolled a 10, I could do 10 and 1, or sorry, I could do. There's no 10, so math is hard anyway. You could do 9 and 1, or 8 and 2, or 7 and 3, or 6 or 4. You couldn't do 5 and 5 because you can only pop every number one time. And you're trying to get the lowest score at the end. If you have to try to pop a number that you can't, you're out, and you add up the numbers you have left, and that's your score. And the other player can keep going until they're out. Lowest score wins. Game's really quick. We usually play like best 2 out of 3. We played right before the podcast again. And Beau took me down 2-1 in the rubber match. So, Beau, what do you think about Pop the Box?
I have a really big beef with this game.
What is your beef?
It's too simple. I like pop-its, but I just don't like the math. And it's also like, I can't really explain it, but it's too simple, but it's also too hard. I can't explain it.
It's too. I think it's good math for younger kids to look at a number and then be able to break it down into all the possibilities that number can be.
That's basically division, kind of.
Yeah, you're breaking down a number, dividing it, I guess. But so you can just roll the number and add them together, or sometimes you got to maybe subtract one number from the other one, or add up a bunch of numbers to figure out what else you can make your total into. Anyway, Pop the Box. The bottom of the list for Beau here. It's more of an activity, I think, but there's a little game to it. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, it's decent.
Decent, huh? I think I would give it 1.5 boings.
It gets a half boing.
Half a boing?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I don't know that that's true. Okay,
it's 1 boing.
1 boing. All
I'll
right.
give it 1 boing.
Sounds good. If you haven't heard before, we have the boing 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 rating scale, which we'll be using today. And 3 boings is the best, 0 boings is the worst. And you can go anywhere in between there.
You can do 3.5.
Well, you can do half boings.
Okay.
And one time ever, you can give 4 boings.
Yes. Only one
You're
time.
only 8, though, so you probably shouldn't give your 4 boing game away too early, right?
Yes, I'm going to do it on the last one.
Oh, on this podcast?
Yes.
Okay. The second game by Blue Orange Games today is called Bag of Chips. The salty and tasty game. It is for ages 8+. It is 2 to 5 players. So it takes 15 to 20 minutes to play. And it's by Matthew Aubert and Theo Riviere.
First of all, do not eat the chips.
That's true. Why don't you tell everybody what... I'm just going to put a little sound into the mic here. I don't know if you can hear that. Tell them what this game is shaped like. What is unique about this game?
It's literally in a bag. It's in a bag. It's weird. There's a bunch of chips. There's, I believe, 4 different flavors.
There are 5 flavors of chips.
There is onion, barbecue,
which we thought were potions because they look like a
onion,
potion.
onion, barbecue, salt and vinegar.
What I think is plain.
Plain.
And then chicken leg.
Yeah.
Whatever chicken leg is.
Yeah. We did this. If you've been on Instagram lately, and we've done a thing about this on Instagram. So.
That's true. You can watch a live video we had put out there, right? On how to play.
It's not really live. It was a couple days ago, but.
Well, it was live at the time.
Yeah.
So in this game, you play it over rounds until somebody wins 4 victory points, and you get a point every time you win a round. And basically, there's these 4 cards out there that tell you exactly what to do. And what you're doing is you're going to draw 6 chips and put them out.
Yes.
Then everyone's going to look at their cards, which is a bunch of different goals, right?
True.
Then you discard 2 goals. Then you draw more chips, and then you'll discard another goal. And this discard pile goes right in the middle of your play area. Then you're going to draw some more chips. And then with your remaining 3 cards, you're going to pick 2 ones you're going to try to score and 1 that's going to be negative points if it happens. Then you draw 1 chip out of the bag and then 1 more final chip out of the bag. And you see what your score was. If any goals you met, you get the points for. Any goals that you met that were on the negative side, subtract. Highest points wins.
That is true.
Yep. And so what do you like about Bag of Chips?
I like that it's competitive. I like that it's involved with chips.
Yeah, you think the theme is funny?
Yes. And I like it because you have to win multiple rounds to win.
Yeah, you play multiple rounds, and it
Yes.
plays pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun to try to it's a kind of fun push your luck thing where you're really hoping that the chips you want are going to get pulled out of the bag, and there's a little card that tells you how many of every chip there are, so you can there's a little bit of strategy on like the odds of what's going to come out of the bag, or you can just go, There's one card in the game that if you make it happen, you auto win the entire game. All right, so Bag of Chips, I'd say it's like probably a 1.5 boing for me. It's fine. It's short. I don't. Nobody I've played with has really dug it that much.
Plug or beef for me? There's a plug. I like this game. Personally, I like it. I would give it a 2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
I didn't think you liked it that much.
I think it's more than decent.
Okay. I mean, well, it's a good one. It's definitely easy to take with you. We're always looking for games to take to dinner with us or just to go somewhere and hang out and play, right?
Yeah, we like those small games like that.
Yeah, so I mean that'd be a good one for that, I think.
Mhm.
All right, well let's go into our third game then, and the third one he put on his list here is called Ice Hoppers, a Race with the Waddling Penguins. It is ages 6 and up, 1 to 4 players. Plays in about 10 minutes. It's by Usama Khalafati, art by Laurent Bossier. And in Ice Hoppers, you play out of the box. It's pretty cute. There's little penguins. They start on one side of the box. It's got a little slit in the box where you push the icebergs through it, and then if the icebergs are touching an iceberg that the penguins are on, you can move them.
Yeah.
Or there's ice, and if you have an ice one that they're touching, they can slide across that one and get an extra move. And if you play with the variant and you land on a place that has like a seal on it,
then you have to slide in a little circle token that looks like a sea lion in the water, and that, if it gets between two of your icebergs, you can't go to the next iceberg. It's basically a blocker. You can't go past it, but you can go onto a space with one on it.
that's right. And this is a cooperative game, right?
Yes, but you don't get to pick a penguin that you're playing as. You're just like the icebergs, and you're trying to help the penguins. You don't get to.
Yeah, that's a good
You
way to
don't
put it.
play as a penguin. You're just playing like as a iceberg or something.
Gotcha. So, what do you like about ice hoppers?
That is not competitive. I like cooperative games too.
Yeah.
And also that penguins are adorable. I like that. And also because there's like a sliding aspect to it.
Yeah, it's neat. That's something we haven't seen in a game before, right?
Yeah, I like those games where there's just like stuff that can fall off or stuff where you stack stuff. I like those type of games.
Yeah, there's that's called dexterity. There's a little
Yes.
dexterity element to it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably a little farther down on your list because it is a little more on the simple side. It's for younger kids.
I'll give this a 3.
This is a 3 Boing for you?
Yeah. Actually,
Man, we're moving on up.
this is a 3.
It's a 3, huh?
Yes.
For me, it's just way too simple. It's fun to play with kids. We play it together. It's fun. But this is definitely one where he can bring it open with his friends and they can play it together. And the rules are simple enough that everyone's going to get it and be able to play it, right? You could teach this to anybody.
For me, there is plug everywhere on this thing.
You're plugging it everywhere?
Yes.
No, any negatives?
Yes. It's a little childish.
A little childish, huh? Because you're such a grown-up?
Kind of. I'm older than it says.
Well, yeah,
I'm
I
older
am
than
too.
it says.
But
But
it
you
says
like
6
it.
and 6 and up, you're up, right?
Yes. Why isn't there any age that you can't play as?
I don't know. I don't know why games
I've seen that.
put a max on it.
I've seen that on games like 99 plus.
Like 2 to 99.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
2 to 99,
Yep, when you turn 100, you can't play it anymore.
or you
That
just
doesn't make sense.
or you die.
All right, let's move on to game number 4. And this was a surprise for me because this is not the kind of game that I would normally think Beau would like. But he picked this for his 4th one. I thought this might be a little too old for him, even though it does say 8 and up.
Yeah, I like
Um,
it.
Yeah, you just don't try like you really did not like Ticket to Ride. And
No,
that
but I
and that's
like
like
this
building
game.
that's like building routes.
I like this game.
Maybe we should try Ticket to Ride again sometime.
Okay.
Ooh, maybe he's changing his likes. All right, what I'm talking about here is Next Station London, the flip and right game of sketching subway lines. It's 8 and up, 1 to 4 players by Matthew Dunstan and Maxime Morin does the art. Blue-orange games once again. And this comes in a cool little box, easy to take with you. Another great one for like a restaurant, pub, coffee house type game. In the box is basically it's a magnetic flip lid. It's got 4 colored pencils, a deck of cards, and a whole stack of flip and write sheets. In Next Station London, which I originally started playing this on BGA, so if you want to check it out, go on to Board Game Arena. It's got a great implementation. You basically play 4 rounds. Every round you have a different colored pencil, and there's 4 different colored stations on the board. So if you have the blue pencil, you start at the blue station, and you flip over a card, and you have to draw to a shape on the board that is of that. You flip over a card, and you have to draw from your station to whatever shape station card you flipped over. And so you're kind of drawing a route that way. And then on the next card flip, you can start on either end, and you just keep making your route. You're trying to get your route to go through multiple different areas, but also have a bunch of the same stations in the same box. If you get it in the same box, multiplied by how many different ones you've gone to, you get a number. And then every time you cross this river, you get 2 points. And then that's your score for the round. There's also these tourist locations that have kind of these little spiky borders around the edge. And every time you draw through one of those, you get to mark off a thing at the bottom. And then that's like extra points at the end of the game. There's also, if you have the different colored routes going through the same stations, then you get some points for that as well. If you get 2 points if 2 of them go, 5 points for every station that you have 3 lines through, and 9 points for every station you get 4 lines through. You add all that up at the end of the 4 rounds, and that's your score. There's a couple extra things you can add. We didn't play with them tonight, but after you played a couple times, you can add in. There's cards that are objectives that you can score. If you make the objective, you get 10 points. Yep.
We didn't play with them.
No, and then there's also pencil powers, where every pencil has a power, and once per round, you can flip over the pencil power card to do something cool. Anyway, Next Station London, I do not really like rolling rights, flipping rights. Like, they're fine, whatever. But this one plays quick and is very interesting. I like drawing and sketching the lines. And really, you can play with just about anybody. Beau, what do you like about Next Station London?
I like that it's like you're drawing areas, and I like that when you flip over the cards, that there's a different location that you have to go to, and that sometimes you can't go to it, so you just don't do your turn.
Yes, you gotta do some good planning.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just can't do the thing. I like that there's that one special card in there that lets you take a jut off of. You kind of make a branch off of your thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. But I think it's a cool balance on trying to spread out and get everywhere. And also, you can get lots of points by trying to interconnect stations. So we started playing, and then about a quarter way through the game, I kind of explained to Beau what we were doing, like station lines and like subways and what you do, and how you would like go on one route and then maybe at a station get off of the train and then get onto another train. And then like all of a sudden I think that kind of popped up into your head and you kind of really understood what was going on.
Yeah, I did. It was like, whoa, I'm not doing this right. Like it just popped in my head. I wasn't doing any of it right. I was kind of not doing any of it right.
But then once you did that, then you kind of liked thinking, oh, well, if there was a person here and they wanted to get over here, and then you were trying to find the best route for that person. You were kind of playing your own little mini game in there, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, it was fun. So that was Next Station London. I don't like flippin' rights, but if I was going to give a flippin' right a score, I think this is a 3 boing flippin' right for me. I love it. It's exactly what it should be. It's quick. It's to the point. It's easy to teach. It's got some multiplication and addition in there for him on like adding your score together. I really like it. I don't know that there's much of a downside to this game for me. How about you, Beau?
Oh, plugs everywhere, and 3. I rate this game a 3.
You also think it's a 3, huh?
Yes.
You like it. That was a big surprise for me on that one. Just because if it doesn't have monsters in it, you're not usually into it. All right. Our last game we're going to talk about is your favorite of all of the games, right? It's the one we played the most.
Yeah.
It is Museum Suspects. It plays 2 to 4 players. It's for ages 8 and up. This is by good old Phil Walker Harding, and the art is Maxime Sarthou. Once again, Blue Orange Games. And this is kind of like Clue. I mean, it's a deduction game. You're not moving around on the board or anything. There's a grid of characters, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 8 different types of things you can narrow the suspects down by. And on your turn, you get a look at one of the clue cards, and then you get to cross off. That clue card means that if the person's wearing a hat, this kind of hat, that they didn't do it. So you can cross all that off. Or there might be one that if they're in this part of the grid, they didn't do it, so you can cross all that off. And then you put one of your little point markers down there. If someone else wants to look at that point or look at that card, they have to put one of their point tokens down that is at least that number or higher. The second thing you can do is if you want to, you can put one of your point tokens down on a person, and that's saying that that's the person that did the museum robbery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's kind of like Dinosaur Tea Party, honestly.
you're right, because it's a deduction game, and it's really quick. You play 6 turns. At the end of the game, you're either going to have one suspect that did it, no suspects that did it, or multiple suspects that did it. If there's none, then you should have put your token on this getaway card. Like, if you think nobody did it, you put it on this getaway card, because at the end, you basically flip over everything, and you go through and you turn everybody face down until the only ones remaining face up would be the ones that could have done it based on the clues we had. Sometimes there's one left, and like tonight we played it again, and there was like 3 people left. So you get to add up, if you had any tokens on any of those 3 people, you get to add all those up, and you get an extra point for every one of those people that you had a token on.
Not very long ago, there was this funny thing. It was like we were playing the game, and it ended up there being 3 suspects. And it was kind of funny because they were all foxes.
Yeah, they ended up being all foxes.
And foxes
right?
are technically the tricky animal.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like most people call them tricky animal.
The sly fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that museum suspects, I like the fact that you only have a limited number of point tokens. You have enough, for 6 rounds, you have 12 of them. So you have enough to put one down next to your clue card you looked at, and you have one to try to go out there and score on the board every round. And you have to balance whether you want to try to put a high point thing on a clue you think that's really important to try to block other people from looking at, or you want to put your high points out on the board to score the points. It's an interesting balance. The game has really nice art, really good components. It comes with little flip, kind of like notebooks that you can keep your notes in and make your marks on. This is a great game. I love it. This is definitely going to stay in our collection, I think. This is going to go on your shelf for sure.
This plugs everywhere like a bunch of other games. And 3.5.
3.5. You're going off your own rules, huh?
Well, I might do 4 eventually.
Oh, okay.
Wait, isn't this episode over though?
Yeah. This is your 4-boing for this episode. So, Beau really likes Museum Suspects. I also really like it. I definitely would give it a shot, especially if you like deduction or games like Clue. The little sticker on the box says, investigate, bluff, and bet. And that's definitely what you do in this game. So, I'd like to thank Blue Orange Games for sending those to us. And they really just do a great job. Always great art. Always great for families. Always great for kids. He's starting to maybe grow out of the younger ones a little bit.
Yeah.
But the 8 and up, the ones that had 8 and up on the boxes were your favorite for sure out of this group, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the co-op's neat too. But like all of these games right now, if I were to give them to you and you took them to game night, would you be able to teach every one of these games, do you think?
Probably all of them except Next Station London.
Okay. Well, that's fair. You've only played that one time.
Yeah.
'Cause I wasn't sure that you were going to want to play it, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then you were really into it. I mean, that was your number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right behind Museum Suspects. All right. Before we leave, we're going to do one more quick game. This one is unpublished. Designer Beau Pearson, Board Boy Beau, and he has been after this summer, he has been designing games like crazy. The other day, we had to run home quick between stopping at Dungeons Gate and then going back to Dungeons Gate to do some trivia that I'd set up. He set up and created basically a hidden movement game between a killer and some humans, and then there was a cop. And so we're working on that game a little bit. Hidden movement and deduction and bluffing and things.
Yeah,
But the one that we've got here that he wants to talk about is Surgery Masters. You can see that on our Instagram. I've shown a picture of it. The box for this game is also the game. The box for this game you also play out of because it's just a couple of pieces of paper taped together. And Beau, why don't you tell people about Surgery Masters?
So this is like a bag builder game. This so the box is basically a bag, and there's a couple characters. There's a couple characters in there. The characters each have 3 little squares, and and you get to pick a character. There's 2 characters with special abilities: the werewolf and the pizza.
Because those were both an expansion character, right? You've already made 2 mini expansions.
Yeah. The pizza has this special token that's pizza. I'll probably have to explain you what the tokens are. So you drag one token out of the body. Some are good, like a bullet or something like that. And some are bad, like if you pulled out his brain.
You mean good to pull out of a body?
Yes.
Pulling a bullet out of a body, I mean, the bullet's not good in the body, so you get points for pulling it out.
Yes.
But if you accidentally pull out his brain, that's going to be a problem.
Yes. And the pizza, so if you aren't the pizza and you dragged out the pizza in the thing, then you would get minus 100. But if the pizza gets it, then it would be plus 100.
Yeah, so some
Then the
asymmetrical rolls there.
Then the werewolf has the sun and the moon. How the sun and the moon works is if somebody draws the moon, then the werewolf turns into the werewolf. But if somebody draws the sun, then they turn into human. The benefit of being werewolf is you can get more tokens, and if you get more tokens, then that means you'll get more chances to either lose more or win.
Yeah, and so you pull out your tokens, you add up your score, and highest score wins, right?
Yeah.
So that's a game he's been working on. I think we can fine-tune it and do some more with it. And who knows, maybe Blue Orange will want to publish that for you someday. What do you think?
Maybe, maybe not, probably not.
Oh, well, keep working hard, and, designing games does not happen overnight. It's a long process.
I do not know how we would make copies of that. I'll probably just have to make it all over again. Millions and millions of times.
Well, you use a factory.
Yes, like a printing.
Yeah, but you need money for that.
Yes.
Right?
And I am just a kid.
All right, everybody. Well, that is our special edition of the Board Boys podcast. All right, if you like what you heard, remember you can go hang out with us on the Board Game Geek Guild 3455. Theboardboys.com is our website. You can find everything you'd ever want there. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We do all the things. Go play with us on Board Game Arena. We have a Patreon, the Board Boys Podcast Patreon. If you go to there, we are hoping to do more special bonus episodes like this, different bonus content, more stuff with more of the boys. Hopefully maybe get some contests, merch, swag, that kind of thing going. So we appreciate our patrons so far. And Beau, do you have anything else to say before we leave?
Remember, do not eat the chips. Good night, everybody.
We hope you like board games. Bye.